Mark's story. I started Spanish at school in September and I like it. We've got a good teacher, Old Webb. Mr. Webb, not Old Webb, my mother always says to me. He isn't old, you know. Old Webb, sorry, Mr. Webb, always takes some people from our school to a place in Spain for the first 2 weeks of the holidays, every July. Old Webb is okay. Not bad, for a teacher. We were at Portsmouth with Old Webb, sorry, Mr. Webb, and Mrs. Webb. She's from Argentina, all the boys think she's good-looking, too. There were 6 of us with the Webbs, Harry Potts and his sister Sonia, Nick Atkins, he's a good friend, Sue Bellamy, she's clever, my brother Dave and me were 14 and we're good friends too, usually. There were hundreds of people on the boat. It was hot in the sun, a lovely day. People watched the sea and the small boats. I liked being in the sun and thinking about the 2 weeks holiday in Spain. Old Webb started one of his stories about Argentina, but I didn't listen. I started to look at the people. And this girl was there, near me, a really good-looking girl with nice brown eyes and black hair. I'm really shy and I'm not very good with girls. I didn't talk to her then, but I watched her with her sister and her mother and father. Then they walked away and she smiled at me for a moment before they went. My brother Dave saw her, and he laughed quietly at my red face. I wanted to see her again, perhaps in the cafe at lunchtime, or perhaps in the cinema in the afternoon. But she wasn't there and I don't remember the film. In the evening we had a drink with Old Webb and lovely Lucrezia, that's our name for Mrs. Webb. After that Dave and Harry went to the disco, they wanted to meet some girls. I don't like dancing, but I went to the disco later. I wanted to see her again, the lovely girl with the dancing brown eyes and the nice smile. It was dark in the disco, and I stood near the door and watched the dancers. Then I saw her on the dance floor, and she was with Dave. With my brother, Dave. She smiled at him, too, a lovely smile. I didn't want to watch, I walked out. I went and looked at the sea and thought about things quietly. I thought about her and Dave. I was up early in the morning, before 6 o'clock. I went out again and watched the early morning sun and the sea. There was only one old man and the sea birds there with me. The old man smiled at me, but we didn't talk. I liked being quiet. I went in and had a coffee in the cafe, but I didn't want to eat. All the time I wanted to see her. I wanted her to walk into the cafe and come across to my table and sit down with me and tell me her name and talk to me. But she didn't come. I waited and waited, but she didn't come. At 8 o'clock I went to find Nick and Dave. Dave was very quiet all day, and he was really nice to me. And I didn't see her again before we arrived in Santander at 11. She wasn't there.